That's this one. What is it, this one?
Good evening. I hereby call this regular meeting of the Nacogdoches ISD Board of Trustees to order. Let the record show that a quorum is present and notice of this meeting was posted as required by the Texas Open Meetings Act. Board members Dr. Groman and Reverend Irvin are unable to attend tonight's meeting. And thank you all for joining us. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Jackson to give tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come together as a board recognizing our differences, but united in our purpose. Remind us of the people we serve and the impact our decisions have on their lives. May our actions today reflect our commitment to serving with integrity and making a positive difference in our schools and community. Help us to overcome challenges with grace and determination, knowing that together we can achieve great things. Amen.
Now will you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
The board will now convene into executive closed session pursuant to the following provisions of the Texas Open Meetings Act. Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, and 551.129. No final action, decision, or vote will be taken while the board is in closed session. It is now 5:02. The board is now reconvening into open session at 5:51 PM. Please remember to place your cell phones on silent mode, and I appreciate you joining us tonight. At this time, I would like to recognize Superintendent Burton for announcements.
Good evening. Since graduation took place last month, our attention has turned fully to the upcoming school year, and that start date will arrive quickly. I don't want to alarm anyone, and I feel pretty safe in saying we're okay in this room, seeing as how there are no students in attendance. But the first day of class is now a little less than 8 weeks away. Understandably, we've got a lot of work to do and planning to take place in the district as we get even closer to August 12th. Teachers will be back on Monday, August 3rd, and convocation is planned for Friday, August the 7th. So it's certain that for the next few weeks, we will be busy as we look forward to students returning for the 2026-2027 school year. Last month, we had Micah Lockett in here to celebrate his second state title in the high jump. This weekend, he will be competing on an even bigger stage, the Nike Outdoor Nationals and the USA Track and Field Under-20 Championships in Eugene, Oregon. A year ago at the same competition, Micah cleared 7 feet 2 inches in the high jump. Micah obviously holds the Nacogdoches High School record in the high jump, but don't forget, he also holds a record for the most touchdown receptions as a Dragon. And while Micah did cross the stage of graduation last month, he is always a Dragon, like all of our graduates, and we wish him the best of luck in Oregon. During the summer off-season calendar for football, 7-on-7 passing competitions have been around long enough to become as routine to high school sports existence as oversized mums at homecoming and blistering hot season openers in August. Now, the Dragons linemen are getting a chance to show off their football skills. Nacogdoches High School offensive and defensive linemen are headed to Abilene Saturday for the Lineman Challenge. The competition showcases the kind of strength and agility skills that offensive linemen and defensive linemen might use during the season, like tire flips, farmer's carry, power push, bench press, obstacle course challenges, and a tug of war. This is the state actual championship, so we're very proud of them. So good luck to our Dragons on Saturday. I am saddened to tell you that we lost one of our own this week. Custodian Richard Summers died unexpectedly Wednesday after falling ill. Richard had been with Nacogdoches ISD since July 1, 2014. Over the years, Richard had worked at several campuses and facilities within the district, most recently at Nacogdoches High School. He'd also served here at the District Support Center. Richard will be missed by his family, colleagues here at NISD. Please keep them all in your thoughts and prayers in the coming days. And I will say about Richard, I did not know Richard that well. I did see him several times, even when I was moving my stuff in for the first time. But he was always smiling, always happy, and he always had gun smoke blaring in the break room at the DSC. So we will definitely miss him. We were all kind of taken back by that. And finally, one more thing, a reminder that the district will be closed the week of June 29th, leading up to the 4th of July holiday. Most of our summer learning programs will wrap up by the end of next week, although Texas ACE, our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, will resume for the weeks of July 6th and 13th. And that's all I have.
We are now at the public comment portion of our meeting. We did not receive any requests to address the board today. If you would like to address the board at a future meeting, instructions are available and posted on our meeting notice and district-wide. We will now conduct the public hearing to discuss the proposed 2026-2027 budget and proposed tax rate. I hereby open the public hearing. Mr. Eberlin, you can begin when you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. Board of Trustees, Superintendent Burton, we are finally here after 2 months and a couple of budget workshops. It's time to adopt the budget. So we're going to get started. This is the budget for the 26-27 school year. This budget was built on a couple of assumptions, and we'll go through them. A refined ADA of 4,900, which does unfortunately continue a projection of a loss of students, an M&O tax rate of 0.7552, which will remain steady from last year. I don't foresee any compression. The new MCR template just came out today, so once we get certified values in July, that will kind of solidify what our tax rate will be. And a debt service rate of 0.380, again, staying consistent with this year. Our staffing, if you'll believe it or not, was started in January. I just looked at my calendar a while ago. And it's based on an enrollment of around 5,400 students. In the comp plan and in this budget, you'll see we projected staff raises, teachers receiving the regular step, and a 2% raise for all other employees. We'll get into some of the numbers. A lot of this is going to be consistent with what was in our workshops. Local revenue, we're showing a decrease, but please keep in mind the 25-26 budget does include some contributions earlier in the year for donations and things like that. So all in all, from budget year to budget year, we are showing an increase in local revenues, but on paper it is in a decrease. State revenues, we are showing a decrease, and that is going to be solely due to the loss of students and that state aid that we get, or state revenue. Local or federal revenues, this is going to be largely consistent and staying the same. The board does adopt the budget, or the budget by function, so I have listed out each function and the difference in the current budget and the proposed. Kind of go through each one and hit kind of the big increases / decreases. Of course, instruction, most of which is going to be salaries, and of course everything's more expensive, so we do have some increases in discretionary spending for the campuses and departments. School leadership is increased also, mostly due to salaries. It's just kind of the nature. Go on. There is a decrease in student transportation. That is going to be from cutting down some of the vacancies that were in our position control. There was quite a few vacancies, and we're kind of trying to right size position control, as I mentioned last time. The facilities, maintenance and operations, that's going to be a combination of salaries, of course, and then there are some initiatives that we've taken this year with our maintenance and custodial, trying to get some floor cleaners and things like that, and a new forklift for the warehouse. So those are obviously in there. And then security and monitoring, you have to think, last year we did quite a few projects in Function 52. So those, it shows as a decrease, but generally we're obviously still committed to safety and security on all of our campuses and buildings. Facilities, that's obviously going to be our biggest one. We have roughly $3 million worth of projects that are going to roll over, 3.2, roll over into this next year. We are super excited about getting those finished, but they are going to roll over, so that is, in general, the end. Now, I will say on the 25-26, you'll see the anticipated change in fund balance is right around $2 million. I have done some projections for what the end of this year is going to look like, and in all of my stuff, I generally think we're going to come out pretty good. Last year we did adopt a deficit of, I think, right around $3 million, I believe. So I think we're going to come in under what was projected. So that is a good thing. And all in all, we are in good financial position when it comes to the operating budget. If all comes to fruition, I do have a summary, and that's just a summary of all of the previous. We have the, of course, we all look at fund balance as a measure of how we're doing. So with all of that, if everything does come to budget is what we spend, we would end with a fund balance of $27,307,915. 1 month of operating expenditures is roughly, just south of $6 million. And 3 months needed per board policy is $17,872,545. So we are still well in excess of what is required of us in fund balance. So I don't want anybody to, yes, we are adopting a deficit budget, but I don't want anybody to start freaking out yet because we are in good position. The budget was built. Obviously, I built this very conservatively. We do have some vacancies that are still in the budget, and roughly a 4 to 8% vacancy there. Majority of our budget is payroll, roughly 80%. And the M&O tax rate used to build the budget is not necessarily what will be adopted. So if our values come in substantially higher than what I'm projecting, there may be some compression, but like I said, I do not foresee that to be the case. But if it is, we will obviously bring that new tax rate to the board. Student nutrition, kind of go through the same thing. Local revenues, relatively even. State, again, the same. Obviously, with us losing kids, that means less meals served equals less revenue, unfortunately. But I will say, I can't brag enough about Miss Lori Stamper. She makes sure that these kids get fed. And I will say, she is one of the most staunch advocates for her employees as well as we get into the expenditures. She has advocated for raises for her people, and I can't say enough to brag about her. We are looking at a slight decrease, mostly because of vacancies is generally what it is. And in Function 51, we did move custodians out of 240 into the general fund just to kind of alleviate some time and effort things and stuff like that. So all in all, we are hovering, if all comes to fruition, again, right around $1.4 million in fund balance at the end of next year, which, like I said in our last workshop, is right kind of where we want to be. Debt service, again, 0.38 tax rate, no increase. And here's our budget. Local revenues, purely tax collections. State revenues, like I mentioned the last time, we are looking at a decrease due to the homestead or the defeasance penalty. So just as a heads up there, that is the reason. Bond principal, it's a decrease, but all of this is governed by what is in our debt book and what's scheduled to be paid down in addition to whatever we defease. So bond interest kind of the same and bond fees kind of projected to be the same. All in all, you will see a change in fund balance in the 25-26 school year. That is purely because of the timing of our previous defeasance payment. We are really just cutting down on the fund balance this year because we added last year, and we just kind of want to get back to ground zero. And that is all that I have.
Mr. Eberlein, on general fund expenditure, item number 34, transportation, it's at $3,286,379. And we have to item 36, it says extracurricular activity. That transportation for student activities is included transportation for pupils, right?
So for 34, it's going to be regular student transportation. So that has to do with regular bus routes and all of the employees that are bus drivers and things like that.
What about extracurricular activity? That $1,741,000 $1,171. That includes the transportation for
Yeah,
athletics?
any costs related to, let's say, football going to the game.
Right.
Will be under, we used to bill each department. Now we don't do that. So those costs, any of the meals for the football team, yes, those are going to be under Function 36. But as far as like renting the bus or anything like that, no, sir.
That the extracurricular activity include in the band as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone wishing to address the board regarding the proposed 26-27 budget and proposed tax rate? Mr. Evelyn, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody that had something to do. I was going to ask you to do one more thing. When you talked about the general fund amount decreasing, would you explain for everybody's information what our auditors have said regarding our balance and managing the amount that's in there?
Yes, ma'am. In previous years, I know that our auditors have said that we do have what I guess the state would deem as an excessive fund balance in the general fund. That being, we had 7 to 9 months of expenditures in fund balance. So say that we didn't get any revenues, we would be able to sustain ourselves for 9 months just on what's in fund balance. So yes, it has been a goal to reduce our fund balance. The question that we had was, where do we stop? So we're going to continue to go down, and my goal is never to have 3 months of operating, because that gives me heart palpitations. But yes, it has been a note by our auditors in the past. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just thought it would be nice to hear the reason why we're okay with it dwindling just a titch. Okay, so does anybody else have anything they would like to address the board regarding the budget? Okay, hearing.
I do want to say something about the fund balance, because, and yes, I agree, I don't want it to continue to go down, but just remember, our taxes, our state revenue, the things that we get, they don't give us that to put in a savings account. They give us that to educate the students of our district. So, yes, we are spending money, but that's the purpose for getting the money.
What he said. 100%. Okay. All right, hearing nothing else, then I will hereby close the public hearing. Tonight, we have one report from our business office, Mr. Eberlin.
Yes, ma'am. Hello again. It's our standard reports. I will note for the board some of our donations that they'll see in print. I apologize. 1 second. I got it. I'm here. Some donations that we received. Nacogdoches High School received $256 from BSN Sports for Dragon SRT, and transportation received dessert coupons from Chick-fil-A for staff appreciation.
Okay, awesome.
If the board has any questions on any of the reports, I'd be happy to answer.
Anybody have anything? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, unless removed from the consent agenda, all items listed under consent agenda will be acted on with one motion. If a board member wishes to discuss an item separately, please state the agenda item letter at this time. Okay. Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I move the board approve the May 2026 board meeting minutes.
Second? Second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. And the motion carries. Now we will move to the discussion and action portion of our agenda, and we will start with item A, consideration of and board action on the superintendent's recommendation of professional personnel. Mr. Burton.
Thank you, President Winslow. Board members, as we've discussed and as in board book, we bring several recommendations for administrative hire tonight, and I just put those to you for action at this time.
Do you have a motion?
I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendation of professional personnel as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, and the motion carries. Item B is consideration of and board action on the adoption of the 2026-2027 regular board meeting schedule. Mr. Burton.
Board, Board, you have there in board book a proposed dates for our school board meetings next week. Obviously, we have them on specific Thursdays of the month, and I just wanted to draw your attention to a couple of those. One with an asterisk in March will actually be on the fourth Thursday because I believe it's spring break or the way that some of that's falling. And then I believe the rest of them are on that third Thursday. So unless you see something that we might want to change or might need to change, this was going to be our recommendation for our meeting dates for next year.
Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the 2026-2027 regular board meeting schedule as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, and the motion carries. Item C is consideration of and board action on the revised federally funded vendor list. Dr. Jolynn Corley.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. President Winslow, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Burton. Today, I'm requesting approval for the updated list of federally funded vendors for professional development, coaching, and consultation. Due to federal purchasing guidelines and regulations, the approval pathway ensures that we're in compliance when using federal funds for specific services. We ask that the board approve the vendor list for professional development, coaching, and consultation for what was the 25-26 and now the 26-27 school year using federal grant funds.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Yes, ma'am. I move the board approve the revised federally funded vendors list for 2025, 2026, and 2026, 2027 school year as presented.
Have a
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, and the motion carries. I got my glasses back on. All right, item D, consideration of and board action on local revised policy FFAC, Wellness and Health Services Medical Treatment, and this is a second reading. Mr. Martin.
Good evening, President Winslow, members of the board, and Superintendent Burton. As you mentioned, this is a second reading. We'll be happy to answer any questions the board may have about this policy.
Anybody have any questions? I don't have any. No? No? Okay. Do I have a motion?
Again, Madam President, I think I'm chanting today.
That's okay.
I move the board approve the second reading of adoption and revised local policy FFAC, local wellness and health services for medical treatment as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, and the motion carries. Item E is consideration of and board action on the first reading of TASB Policy Update 127. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, President Winslow. The Texas Association of School Boards Policy Update 127 includes a revision and new policies throughout the update. Although local policies are the only policies that the board is supposed to consider this evening. Board, you have 13 local policies, and I'll be happy to go down through and highlight each and every policy change if you would like.
I think if we have a question, we can ask.
You have a question, okay?
Yeah.
No problem.
Does anybody have any questions on any of those policies?
I don't have any
No? Okay. All right. Then do I have a motion?
I move that the board approve the first reading of TASB Policy Update 127 as presented.
All right, do I have a second?
I second.
We got a third. Okay. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, and it carries. Denise, did you catch somebody for second? Okay. All right, item F, consideration of and board action on a resolution approving hazardous bus routes for the 26-27 school year. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, President Winslow. Board, Superintendent Burton, in accordance with District Policy C&A Legal, the district may apply to the Commissioner of Education for an additional amount of up to 10% of its regular transportation allotment to be used for transportation of students living within 2 miles of the school they attend who would be subject to hazardous traffic conditions if they walk to school. A hazardous condition exists when there are no walkway provided for students, and they must also at least cross a freeway, expressway, industrial or commercial area, or other comparable condition. Administration is recommending the board approve the attached list of hazardous bus routes and adopt the resolution regarding hazardous traffic conditions for the 2026-2027 school year.
Mr. Martin, based on your knowledge, is it beyond the 10% or goes below the 10%?
10%.
It
I
would
didn't
go,
understand your question.
okay, it says 10% of transportation budget has to go for those people within the 2 miles radius if they have the hazardous road, right?
Correct.
Okay, do you think, on your estimation in the past, that 10% would be enough or should be decreased or increased?
Well, if I were my choice, Coach, I'd increase it.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do I have a motion?
President Winslow, I move that the board approve the hazardous bus routes for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Have a second?
I second.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, and the motion carries. All right, item F, consideration of and board action on a resolution approving, oh, I just did that one, sorry. Item G, consideration of and board action on the Region 7 Purchasing Cooperative Resolution for the 26-27 school year.
Hello again, Board. Superintendent Burton. Yes, ma'am. This is a Region 7 Purchasing Co-op. We've been with them for forever. It's a part of our e-agreements, and it is a budgeted item in the business office budget, so there is no necessarily budgetary impact, but the cost is there presented, and we would love to continue using them this year.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move that the board approve the Region 7 Purchasing Cooperative Resolution for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, and it passes. Item H, okay. Consideration of and board action on the resolution approving the annual review of local board policy CDA, other revenues and investments.
Yes, ma'am. This is one of those recurring every year things that we're required to do per policy. We are required, or the board is required, to review the investment policy and sign the resolution stating that we have. If the board has any questions on the policy or any practices that we have, we're generally pretty conservative when it comes to investments, most of which are in investment pools, Texas class, and things like that. So generally conservative and don't move around a lot. So if the board has any questions, I'd be happy to answer, but this is something we have to do, so.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay. All right. Do I have a motion?
I move that the board approve the resolution affirming the annual review of local board policy CDA, other revenues, investments as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. And the motion passes. All right. Item I, consideration of and board action on non-Chapter 21 employment contract positions for the 26-27 school year. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Madam President, Board. In accordance with policy DCE local, non-Chapter 21 contracts shall be provided for positions included on the list approved by the board. A non-Chapter 21 contract shall not be governed by Chapter 21 of the Education Code. We have the positions that we are recommending be part of this list of approved positions. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? Are y'all good? All right. Do I have a motion?
Again, Madam President, I move that the board approve the superintendent's recommendations for the non-Chapter 21 employment contract positions for 2026-2027 school year as presented.
And do I have a second?
I second.
All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. And the motion passes. Thank you. All right. Item J is consideration of and board action on the adoption of the proposed 26-27 compensation plan. Mr. Martin.
President Winslow, members of the board, Superintendent Burden, I'd like to take my time, if it pleases the board, with this particular item. You've seen two versions of this already, and we have made some edits since you've seen the last version in May. So if it pleases the board, I'm going to go ahead and begin. On page 2, I believe you have a copy. On page 2, we've highlighted and we've also blue and red lined this version of it so that you can tell what it is that we've changed. The highlighted, the first thing in pay grade 1, it was just a typographical error that we corrected. If you look down in pay grade 4, we added a position there. And on page 3, they highlighted a section that is the position that you see highlighted there, the director. It was an oversight on our part in the first version. So we just added that one in there. If you would take a look on page 3 at pay grade 9, we also made some adjustments to two positions there and also changed the title of the position.
Okay.
If the board would follow me to page 6. We take a look at pay grade 6. We've made a title change in that particular pay grade. That position already exists, but it was formerly called operations supervisor, and now we're just changing the name. A food service supervisor, excuse me. In pay grade 7, we deleted that particular position there. It was not one that we saw that we needed at this time. Page 7, we noticed that the amounts that were listed were actually not right, so we recalculated and put in the correct amounts there. Board, that concludes the edits of the comp plan since you've seen it since May. I'm happy to answer any questions that the board has for us.
Do I have a motion?
I move that the board approve the 2026-2027 compensation plan as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. And the motion passes.
Thank you, board.
All right, item K, consideration of and board action on the adoption of the 26-27 budget. Mr. Aberlin.
Starting and ending. We're near the end. Board, what you have in board book is going to be the presentation that we did earlier, as well as a packet for you that details some outlining of what everything means. There's some function. It's essentially a glossary of the different functions and program pick codes and stuff like that. But all in all, the numbers that are in here are exactly what were provided earlier in the presentation. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. But what is presented earlier is the proposed budget, and that is what's for consideration tonight.
The board has conducted the required public hearing regarding the proposed budget and proposed tax rate and is now prepared to consider adoption of the 26-27 budget. Do I have a motion?
I move that the board adopt the 2026-2027 budget as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, and it passes.
Thank you, board.
The board will now convene into executive closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.0821 and 551.129 regarding the Level 3 grievance hearing. No final action, decision, or vote will be taken while the board is in closed session. It is now 6:28 p.m. And I will need to ask everybody to exit the room while we conduct the grievance hearing. The board has completed its executive session deliberations and returned to open session, and the time is 7:55 p.m. The board will now consider possible action regarding the Level 3 parent grievance appeal. Do I have a motion?
President Winslow, the motion is as follows. I move that the board provide relief as follows. The Constitution be revised and revisions approved by the superintendent. Both returning varsity cheerleaders be returned to varsity positions.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor, please say aye and state your name.
I, Farshid Niruman.
I, Leah Beth Apt.
I, Cheryl Brady.
I, Damon Jackson.
I, Mindy Winslow. And the motion passes. If there is no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned at 7:57.